Now we are live on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world when you're listening in and tuning in to this live. I am on an important mission, and that is to help you create your best life ever. And so the upcoming conference coming up, Happiness is Real. There's a lot going on. And that's the reason why I decided to jump on this live today to share what we're actually talking about in our team as we're preparing for the conference. The team and I, we met last night. We're on Zoom because we are various parts in the world. We're discussing what was holding people back from filing for divorce, even jumping on our conference. There's so many women who have bought a ticket already, and they have reached out and say, "Oh, thank you so much. You do a great job." And there's so big a need for that. So we were brainstorming a bit because we know there is a big need out there. We know for fact, and that's research shows, the data shows that 50% of all relations or marriages, the first time marriages, they break. Oh yeah, well, I just said that. 50% of all marriages, they break up, right? When you're married the second time, 70% of these marriages or relationships fail or break up. So here's what I want to share with you is that, and what I experienced to be true is that when we talk about divorce, it's like, oh, the world stops, like the life stops. What now? That's a shame. That's a pity. People are so opinionated about people divorcing, family breaking up. Yes, it is a shame. It is a shame, but it's not a tragedy. But what I experience, what I hear people reporting back is that actually they're being captivated in that relationship because, oh, how do I break the news? There's so many opinions about we should stay together, that I feel like a failure. It's my fault. It's all the guilt coming up, right? And that's why I said, I'm going to talk about this out loud, because since that 50% of all like families breaking up, I'm not the only one. And the women who have bought a ticket to Happiness is Real conference are not the only ones. There are more women out there. There are more women out there. And then there are also women out there I know who are contemplating for divorce, right? It's just a matter of how you feel and what is preventing you from actually leaning into that relationship. So that's the whole reason why I go live today. And I forgot to to introduce myself. My name is Camilla Kalbeck. I'm a divorce coach, and I am so into helping women thrive before, during, and after divorce. So sorry for not forgetting to introducing myself today. Normally I go live every Thursday, but up to the conference I go live more often because we get so much feedback on this conference and how we help change people's life, not only the adults but also the children. So that is the reason why I'm going live out now. I go live more often just over the next week or so. And a good friend of mine is here. Hi, Marita. So good to see you. So good to see you. And so the reason why I bring this up, don't feel ashamed, but do you feel like a failure when you're broadcasting, actually breaking the news that you are going to divorce? Well, I certainly have been there in those shoes, and I know many other women have been in those shoes. And you probably, it was really interesting. I'm going to share some of my preparation for this for this show, but you probably have heard, but that is the shame. Why can't you just stay in this relationship for the sake of the kids? All right, for the sake of the kids. I heard that, and so many women have heard that as well. All right, but is that the right decision to be in that relationship for the sake of the kids? Maybe not. I've been there, and I know many other women have been there as well. We are afraid of being judged for taking the decision that now the family is going to live in have two households. Mom and dad is living in separately, right? And the kids are going to find their own new norm. even that judgment keep people or keep women keep women from filing for divorce. I've been there myself. I sat on that decision for 4 years. For 4 years. And instead of filing for divorce, I invested so much money. I can't tell you, I have a figure on one of my presentations, but I spent more than 10,000 or 20,000 pounds just on traditional therapy, couple therapy, to try to fix what couldn't be fixed. I knew that, but I rather decided to invest my money in something that couldn't be fixed than actually investing my money in myself. So, well, okay, that's a lesson learned, and that's also why I go live, is to share my hard learnings, and I hope that you can use that as a springboard to something even better. You also may have heard you may also, what do you say? You feel ashamed when, yeah. So here I was just looking one of my notes. You may also holding back filing for divorce when you actually feel ashamed that it was you who made that conscious decision, right? I was there, and this is because I think that when we are under stress and we are in such an unhealthy relationship, we cannot think smart. So here's my story. I was in my own bubble of like pettiness, self-doubt, guilt, everything. And I was just saying out loud, but what now? My daughter, my sweet Elizabeth Sophia, she would be the only one in school who would be have parents that were divorced. Come on, Camilla, how true is that? But that was a limiting belief and a lie I lived on for years. I was just, my body's reacting right now. So those limiting beliefs is actually it's not true at all. And I think that is where I really want to, that's also another driver for going out and say out loud, is that all about these different signs of that feeling ashamed and sad of filing for divorce and taking that conscious decision. Well, actually, we should be so proud. And in preparation, I want to share this with you. Is I'm going to pick up on your comments. It's so good, Margrethe. It's like when I shared and I was in my consultancy role, my advisory role, when I shared to some of my key clients, I was going through divorce. So I may not always be as present as I would normally be. Right. So here's sympathy. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear, blah, blah, blah. And one way it was really comfy. But really, what I've so much wanted and what I'm doing now, because I'm so living, I know like the law of attraction where people want to go, I want to be cherished and say, hey, congratulations. I think you did the best decision ever in your life, not only for yourself, but also for your daughter. But nobody told me that. Nobody cherished on me that I made a conscious and maybe the best decision ever in my life. Nobody. My parents, my inner circle, my outer circle, nobody cherished on me. On the other hand, for a long time, they were trying to keep me in this very, very unhealthy relationship. And I don't just, now we know the facts. Now we have the data that 50% of all families break up. Why is it so that we so criticize yet another family breaking up, right? It's not a tragedy. It's not a tragedy. But it's like we have this false social norm that families should be together. And it's all, the whole world breaks down. We're saying English, but it's all like it ruins, the life ruins. We split up the spoil. No, we don't spoil. I lose my words right now. But it's chaotic. And what about the children? And there's such a lot of not only shame, but worry, anxiety. But we made it such a big tragedy rather than actually thinking, but that's the best decision that family could ever do. And I think for me, at least for me, my daughter, that was the best decision. And I also hope at some point in time, my partner could see that that was the best decision for us, right? So that's these, what people tell you is just lies. It's just lies, because you know what is to be true. And what happens when we're being told all these limiting beliefs, we tend to give control to other people's opinions, and so we give control of how we want to live our life to other people. And what happens, and I know, Margarita, you would say that as well, you would answer that question. What happens, we will get even more in not in balance, and we'll feel more stressful, we'll feel more um lost, hopeless. But really, what we have to do is listening to our inner voice and to reclaim that, right? So I think really, I hope that with this, and I don't know how many, I hope that the right people listen to this, because we should not give any miscredit to divorce. Rather, we should cherish on those who make that conscious decision to live their best life, not only for themselves, but also give them a great and amazing upbringing for the kids. And I'm just tapping into my dear friend Margarita's. Yes, a lot of shame and sadness. Yeah, is a lot of shame and sadness. But that kind of, that, from my perspective, at least, that is one part of the coin, right, or one side of the coin. But when we flip it, there is so much beauty coming out. And I'm so into this law of attraction. And I said there's only two feelings. Um, Whether we're looking at the beautiful side of it or the suffering side of it. And it's really interesting. I had a conversation with a client of mine the other day, and it's so human. It's so human to fall victim of the suffering side, and we forget to tap into what's beautiful. There's always something beautiful in this chaos. There's always something beautiful in it. And that's what I give you with all my love. And what's then stepping so far away from our authentic needs and self, creating a healthy universe. Oh yes, I mean we should do a live as well, Margrethe, and we're going to catch up soon, because yes, we're going stepping so far away from who we really are, because we give control to other people. So don't feel ashamed about filing for divorce. Actually, you should be very proud, because you made a conscious decision to create and live the life that you want and you deserve. All right. Let me see on my notes what I have here. So here's my list. Okay, what are then the signs that you are in an unhealthy relationship and you actually should file? But that may also be that you would feel like a failure. Okay, I've been there myself, many of these, and I heard many women talk about it as well. Freedom is self-advocacy. I love it, Margaret. Okay, what happens to me once the divorce is there? We break up. What about me? Who am I? Is this loss of self-identity, your own identity? But hey, relax. Actually, what I know to be true is that because you've been in an unhealthy relationship, you started questioning whether this relationship was the right relationship for you to be in, right? That was the first sign. Get the hell, sorry, out of here, right? So don't feel like a failure. Don't feel like a failure. And what I know to be true is that you are gonna explore and expand on your identity, because the unhealthy relationship kept you hostage, right? It kept you small. You played a role that was not in alignment of who you really are, and like your authentic self, like Marita said, your authentic self. But when you break free from those chains, wow, you create your own new self, and a greater self, you create greater self-awareness. That's what I have experienced, and many of my clients. So what about me? Who will I be? I'm no longer a Mrs. Brown or something. You're gonna be maybe a Mrs. Brown, but an even better and more impactful version, right? So kind of that, leave that failure or leave that belief to someone else. It's no longer part of your vocabulary, your language, your thoughts. All right. That's another one here is about um my life stops. Like when some it's like, when you go to work and people like get fired, what about me? Who am I? Because they see so much them, the job being them, all right, the family being them. But here's what I want to give you, that your life doesn't stop. Your life doesn't stop. Actually, it continues. And as long as you dare to take the risk to be curious and embrace the unknown, that is so much more and magic and more waiting for you. And it's a true lie that your life will end. Like also when you're in being fired, who am I? What will I do? Come on, distinguish yourself from that job. It's you. It's like also when you go into the family, that's a family unit, but remember you're also yourself. And I love you so much on this, Margarita. You're authentic yourself. Like you are the one whole being, and there's a lot of other individuals in that family, but you're still an individual. So your life continues, and you have made, and here's what I want to celebrate, you have made the most, and I think a very cool conscious choice to step out of that family container, because you suddenly realized that you had needs and desires that were not fulfilled in that family container. So rather than feel a victim or feel a failure, be proud of who you are. Be proud of you, who you are. You have this life for a reason, right? Not to serve that family container, but also to serve, most of all, also to serve yourself. Not being self, like ego, but really tap into who you really want to become. Another sign that you can feel like a failure. Oh, wish I'd done that. Wish I hadn't said that. Wish I had done more of this. Come on. Let that guilt go to someone else. Be proud of what you have done. I am sure that you have done whatever was in your remit to do. You stayed in that family environment. You stayed in that container for a long enough time. And I think that you overcommitted to what you had to do. I did it. I know many other women do. So you paid, it's not about paying off, but it's like you you had a high paying job, you had a career, you did the family stuff, you have kids, you did everything. Nobody would ask more of you. So don't feel guilty, right? Don't feel guilty that you could have done in something more. You should have said that, right? Go with guilt. Guilt is not part of your vocabulary, your language, right? And another thing that you feel like a failure, that it was you had to end the relationship. And I'm just now running out of battery to my mobile. So just excuse me here. That happens. That happens. Okay, that's another thing here. It's about attention. Now we're on back. Attention. I should have given more attention to his needs. Oh, this again is a bit of a guilt, right? But it's that you have tried counseling, you have tried different therapists, as you had been on romantic getaways, you had invested so much time and money into that relationship, and it didn't heal, it didn't fix what was broken. So leave away, or let that, I should have given him more attention, that's no longer part of your vocabulary, right? Because you have given what was possible, right? And you have invested in this relationship. But what we tend to do is we suffer, we feel we want to take on the guilt for some reason. And I'm sure that, Margaret, you may have some like neuroscience, why do we do that? Maybe that's a feminine energy showing up. But we should also say at some point, what is serving us and what is not serving us? Who can help us? Who can't help us, right? You only have this one life, and create the best that you can from what you have, and that is yourself, right? And tap into and be surround yourself with those people who want to live the kind of be in that same zone of genius with you, and the same joy of happiness. Leave those who want to live in pain, suffering, being angry. don't go down that alley, right? Don't go down that alley. As if that's my very strong advice. Because what happens is you got just gonna be attracted to those negative emotions, and then you will never spin up, right? So tap into what's a beautiful state of what life offers. And another one about this feeling guilt. It's like, and I mentioned in the beginning, I break up my family. Oh, that is a tragedy. And I remember sat crying in my parents' kitchen area when I was like, and and also mentioned that to my therapist. I mentioned that, and I felt as such, I was a loser. I felt like a failure. I just couldn't get this family unit container together, but I also knew I wasn't happy in that environment. But here's what I know to be true now: a broken heart can't heal a broken heart. If have a broken heart, if you're broken and you have kids, yeah, their hearts are broken as well. And what I know to be true now, because I've been in this environment for some years now, and I have a young daughter, a toxic family environment affects children much more than I think even the media talks about. So here's what is to be true: breaking up a family. If you have kids and if it's a toxic environment, you do a good thing for your kids, because a toxic family environment affects your kids and their development many years ahead. It can affect your kids many years ahead if you don't seek the right support and get the right tools. So it's really, really important to no longer embrace, I'm going to break up my family. Yes, but you're doing it for the right cause. You're doing it for your goal. You're doing it for yourself, right? It's so, so important. And that's why it's so important to lean forward and work with people who can help you and can cherish on you and who've been there themselves and can talk about what happens, the consequences if you do not act now. And if you just continue procrastinating your divorce. And what's that? You can't force a cooperative partner. No, you can't. You can't force, and it's not being about. And I think that's kind of the alignment on this about the force. It was Margareta said you can't force an uncooperative partner. No, you can't do that. But it is about, and I just want to evaluate a bit or build on that, Margareta, because it's not about because, but it's like, okay, I've been there. If my partner didn't cooperate with me, but I kept, I sticked, I was so committed to keeping my family together. So I over committed to what I was supposed to do, and actually was like my energy, all the energy I could give myself in order to do what I had to do, right? And then my partner could look at his mobile and waiting for me and say, okay, Camilla, when are you finished? And he could get angry and he could just scroll down his mobile and sit and wait and just listen and look at my daughter and myself and say, oh, come on, you're just lousy. All right, that is an example of cooperative parents. But here's about saying sometimes you have to say stop. You have to say stop. And so you should not feel ashamed and you shouldn't feel like a failure that is you who broken or you who ended the relationship. Rather, you should be proud of the decision, the conscious decision you have you made. Yes, Margareta, we deserve better. So absolutely. And yes, you're doing what you have to bring bring peace and growth into your life. Exactly. And I think that's, Margareta, you're so right, because it comes at a crossroad. We say, okay, no more, no more, right? And then you start to create peace and get in balance, and then you tap into a completely and better version of yourself. I've stepped out of the container I was in for 10 years or 12 years, and now I'm living my best life. And every time I look myself in the mirror, I can feel my energy, and it's just the energy I hadn't had for 10 years or so when I was in this container. So it's really, really amazing what happens when you actually just become so proud of what you've done. So just to kind of start wrapping this up, it's like what I mentioned was that for years, I lived my life on lies. I lived my life on lies. And I believed in all the limiting beliefs that people had. So, is it you? Stay in that relationship. What about your daughter? You cannot break up and break up that family environment. I said, such a shame that you bring up. It's such a beautiful family. Yeah, but you don't know how I'm feeling. And nobody asked. And this is so interesting also, if you're the one who has an opinion on other people divorcing, and it can also be like family in-laws, the in-laws, maybe they're on a different generation, I know, but anyway, it's about, what about looking at, and I think, Margareta, I'm speaking to Johan as well, look at the person and not at the topic, but look and admire the person and see how they suffer and what's best for them. But we forget to look and focus on the people who are actually victims in all this. And I don't understand why we are like that. But anyway, we are making a wave now, and we're changing a perspective on divorce. And so how I got out of this, when I was my lowest level in my life in that relationship, the penny suddenly dropped. And then I finally decided to listen to my inner voice. And my body's reacting now because I've been there. I told you I invested so much money in all this. And I invested years in this, and I could just see how my life deteriorated, how much hair there was in the bathroom. Like, my body was telling me, Camilla, this is not a healthy environment for you. And when I suddenly had my puzzle, and I said, we can do no more. We tried so much, but it's not going to be better. And when that penny dropped, I got so, in a positive way, fierce about how I wanted to live my life. Boom, and my body's reacting again. And I started listening to my inner voice, and I just started to put everything in motion. And the people who were really close to me were so surprised of how fast I reacted. And I share that with you because my inspiration, the reason for going live is that you shouldn't learn the hard way. You should learn the easy way to create your future and to create the life that you want. So listen to how your body reacts. Don't tell yourself that you are a failure, right? Because you aren't. You have invested what was possible to invest right now. And so there's a better place, the better place for you, but there's also a much better opportunity for you to create the life that you want, right? And, and I tell you, and I said so many times, I will tell you over and over, I am so proud that I took that conscious decision to divorce. And I told my daughter I was the one who decided to leave daddy. And I was proud to tell her because I was in balance, because I knew that was the best for me. And I told her that was going to be the best for me. And I also told her that I think that when I become more in balance and be happy, I also think that it's the best choice I made for you, or the best decision I've made for you. And today I stand and I'm proud of my decision. And actually, I'm going to inspire, because wherever you are in your life journey, the decision I made some years ago to divorce my psychological violent partner, abusive partner, made me step into the person I am today, now helping other women thrive, change their lives. And it's like pebble in the water. They change, and they change their children's life, and the children educate their teachers, their students, their friends, and the moms spread the words to their friends in their environment. So I'm so proud of the kind of the way that I have embarked on, and I'm so proud that I'm there to talk out loud about being in an abusive relationship and why you shouldn't be in that and why you should break free. Anyway, I'm so proud of that, but also so proud of you, because when you show up, it's because you're curious of how you can change your life. And that's what matters to me. That's what matters to me. Because if I can help you thrive, I thrive. That's what it's all about. So if all this resonates with you, and if you got curious, okay, I want some more tools, I want some more stories to build my confidence that I can do it. I can do it, because you can do it. I could do it. I'm not a genius. I'm not a genius. Nobody's of us is a genius. We're still from the same blood, and we're still the same human spice, right? And if I can do it, you can too. If you got so inspired, then come and join our conference. That is next Saturday, the 19th of February, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's New York time, and 3 p.m. London time. It's an amazing conference for women who are stuck in a toxic relationship, or have divorced, or going through the divorce, but haven't healed. I know so many women who have gone through a divorce, or are going through divorce, and they are going through that, or on that journey alone. You shouldn't be on that journey alone. And why shouldn't you be on your journey alone? It's because divorce is the second highest stressor a human we can ever experience in our human life. Death is number one, but nobody talks about it. And so it's about, why should we feel ashamed? You need to shout out to the world that you need help, so you can thrive and tap into your most amazing and abundant life. And that's what this whole conference is about. So go and buy your ticket now. I'm so proud that you join us. It will be absolutely amazing. I have lined up, in total, 6 amazing women on stage. I will be on stage, and there's 5 other women from across the world who will share their story, their trauma, and how they healed. And there's also some women on stage who will tell you what you have to do, like from a financial perspective, to secure your funds. Because that's where the energy, the feminine energy, shows up. There's a lot of women out there who haven't secured their own funds, but when they break up, when they end their relationship, they suddenly have no funds. And that's why we may also call it financial abuse. Then the man takes all the money, right? And then the woman gets stuck, financially stuck. Don't let that happen to you. That's why. Jump on the website www.happinessisreal.com and buy your ticket, and get in front of the queue, kind of say, so you know, and how to divorce, and how to divorce with success, and also to create your best life ever. It's going to be amazing. It is amazing. So with this, thank you so much for joining, Margareta. Marikita, for pronounce your name so wrongly. I'm sorry for that, my sweet friend. It was a real joy to have you, Margareta, on. Sorry, I keep calling Margareta Marikita on the call, because I really enjoyed your interaction. And what you said, I love that. Listen to your body and acknowledge your wisdom. Oh yeah, acknowledge your wisdom. And we kind of procrastinate or don't give that enough power, right, Marikita, on that. And that's just, we need to take back control. It's a need. We should. And we're going to reclaim, we're going to be proud of that. I'm going live again tomorrow with another topic leading up to the conference, Happiness is Real, because, and I hope you can feel it, I am so into helping as many women as possible to thrive before, during, and after divorce. And I'm turning around whatever stone I can, so we make it, the divorcing, a success, because it is a success, because you made the conscious choice for yourself to create a much better and more abundant life. So with that, much love, Marikita. I'll reach out to you. Bye for now. Have a beautiful Friday and weekend if we're not getting in touch tomorrow. Bye for now.